Greetings, fellow Cybertronians, and welcome to Transformers Comics Decoded, the show where I do a panel-by-panel breakdown of my Transformers comic book collection. I'm your host, Bartatron. We've got a lot to cover this episode, so let's roll out! Megatron Origin, Chapter 2. We begin with our disgruntled mining bot in a brand new paint scheme. He is engaged in one-on-one combat in what appears to be an arena-like setting. With an evil-looking grin on his face, he is convinced that he has won this battle. But the bot he is fighting is convinced otherwise. He hits hard enough to knock the miner right off his feet. We now get our first really good look at a makeshift emblem hanging around the miner's neck, and then his opponent points out that he has no weapon. Then the miner points out the fact that he can always, as he gets that evil, terrifying look in his eyes again, he can always make himself the weapon. While on top of him, the miner revs up and uses his treads to just tear through his opponent's chest. Spectators appear to be stunned at this bold move. Our miner transforms back into his bot mode, while his opponent just lies there gasping for life. With an evil grin on his face, he winds up for the final blow, yet pauses. "What's the newbie waiting for?" someone yells out from the crowd. The miner then pauses to ponder this question. Just recently he was in the mines just doing a job. Now he's in the fighting pits, being asked to kill. He then swings down hard with a heavy blow, fluid spraying everywhere. Just off panel, a call comes out. "It's not finished! So finish it!" As we see this bot tossing our miner friend an energon axe. Snatching the axe out of midair with a look of determination. As he raises the energon axe above his head, his eyes start to glow with that fierce intensity. He pauses to reflect yet again. Is this me? Is this who I want to be? Is this who I really am? The crowd begins to react with excitement. Do it! Go to it! Kill them all! With the weapon held high, and still unsure on what he should do, he glances over at the leader of the fights. The leader points over at the miner and belts out the command, "Finish him!" while the rest of the crowd reacts, "Till all are one!" We get another good look at the miner, still unsure of what action he should take, while the crowd continues to chant, "Till all are one!" He quickly reflects back to that first kill. As the rage and aggression begin building inside of him, his red eyes begin to glow with an intensity that no bot can match. Till all are one! Till all are one! The axe begins to swing down with a mighty force. And with a mighty blow, he has ended the other bot's existence. The once mining bot has now accepted his fate. The leader of the fights raises his arms in acceptance. "Now you know what it takes to be a champion." The crowd goes wild. "Totally awesome! Yay!" As the crowd continues to cheer in acceptance, we see the victim lying there with an energon axe buried deep into his chest. The miner now begins to remove his helmet, revealing his original paint scheme, allowing the crowd to see that he is just a simple miner. He then unhinges the plating and reveals this awesome headdress. I really wish he would look like this more often. And the crowd cheers in approval, totally pleased on what they have just witnessed. Even the leader of the fight seems to be cheering in approval. There is now a new champion in town. And he now knows what it takes to stay on top. The life he once knew as a miner is now over. A new future lies in wait for this bot. A future that he will take into his own hands. a future that no one else saw coming. He now has a taste for death, and nothing will stand in his way. The crowd continues to cheer for their new champion. We now appear to be in front of a grand hall with large statues guarding the entrance, while a bot is trying to gain the attention of a senator. The senator seems to be ignoring him, and continues to walk away. "What is it, worm?" the senator asks. The bot, who is now out of breath, informs the senator that the committee's minutes are in need of his attention. He's quickly cut off and replied with, "Oh, you bring me forms to fill out? My role is the application of wisdom through judgment. Would you have me serve the state through minutia?" The bot is clearly caught off guard by this question and stumbles for the right words to say. The senator then excuses himself, as he has something more consequential to attend to. He then walks away, shutting the door behind him, leaving the other bot to himself. We now learn that the senator is in fact Ratbat, and he is gaining information on ongoing labor disputes. And it appears he is using these disputes for his own benefit. The computer issues a special report on energon shortages, and is told to reiterate the commitment to continued flow management. As Ratbat continues to gather information, he seems to find ways to make everything work in his favor. He's now informed of a surge in popularity into a deadly new sport. This can only mean the fighting pits. They seem to be merging the sales of the vid discs with the betting percentages to fund the next event. Senator Ratbat seems to find this news interesting. Very interesting. The computer awaits his command. We now seem to be witnessing shots from various different fighting arenas. Battle Record Volume 6, Solid Steel Showdown. The miner seems to be decapitating his opponent in this shot. Battle Record Volume 18, Off-World Open Invite. The mining bot will use anything at his disposal to win his battles. Battle Record Volume 54, Slaughter Squared. The mining bot turned fighter seems to be an unstoppable opponent, and all around him seem to approve. We now appear to be at a new fight, and an order calls out, "Circle formation!" This appears to be a team battle, and the miner and his crew seem to be surrounded. The leader of the crew continues to bark orders while the opponents seem to just continue to encroach around them. "Damn it, Bat Bear is toast! What do we do now?" The team leader seems to freeze up, having no idea on how to deal with this situation. And in all the confusion, he gets hit with a crippling blow. The mining bot is happy that, who we now know as Clench, has taken one for the team, and continues to kick him to the ground, seizing the opportunity to help himself, and then proceeds to make the killing blow on his own team leader. He decides to take matters into his own hands. His own teammates are even shocked by this display of force. He is the one given the commands now. Descriptively, it's callousness towards victims, encouraging aggressive attitudes, and taking pleasure in pain and humiliation. Legally, it's either serious assault or murder, depending on how it's edited. They call it a sport. And this would be where he promoted himself to team captain. As we pan out, it appears that Prowl is giving a briefing on the situation. Realizing that someone is making a fortune off these vid discs, noting how inexpensive they are to produce and how many are already in distribution, a member of the team needs to know just one thing: where he is. As Sentinel Prime enters the room. "Prime on deck?" Prowl seems shocked at Sentinel Prime's entrance, being Prime wanted nothing to do with this. And Sentinel seems ready to get down to business. He quickly lays down his plans for tactical recon and strike. He states that they are evasive, but far from invisible, and he is ready to take them down. They've tapped into video feeds across the city, bulk real-time data processing, and security control is ready. He belts out his final orders and states, "We will crack down on this cult. And that one will hang." We now cut to what appears to be a rundown part of the city, and we see two bots on recon questioning why they were sent to a rundown dive like this. They get a response of basically, "Shut up and do your jobs." So they watch, and complain, and continue to watch the cycles change. Late one night cycle, we finally see a door slide open and some eyes peering through. He seems to be checking if the coast is clear, then waves his companions in. The recon bots take notice. Bursting through the door is a team of construction bots. The recon team is now realizing what's happening. They're not shipping the arena between venues. They construct it on site. The construction bots continue to work hard. They appear to be throwing scraps of metal into the back of what I would assume to be Mixmaster. They even decide to grab a run-down old bot and throw him into the mix, to be melted down for their use. Pouring liquid metal, welding steel plates, they all do their part to keep construction moving, building the entire arena from the ground up. Either construction is behind, or my information is wrong. An unknown voice then asks, "Your designation? Megatron?" The miner whose journey we have been following now has a name. It is Megatron. This voice has a proposal for him. Technology. He then proceeds to show them holographic images of weaponry, the means to modify yourselves. Megatron has had enough and orders the voice to show himself. The bot rolls in and transforms to reveal himself as Designation Soundwave. He explains how he was able to find Megatron so quickly. Megatron replies with, "What price do I need to pay for these mighty gifts? Only that you use them as you see fit." The recon team, still scouting the situation, is trying to make sense of who this guy is. It appears they've been spotted. Scrap. He knows he's been caught. It's time to bail. He's calling for a response team. It appears to be too late. He tells Fastback to bail out. But Fastback is already under attack. And now so is he. Lights out. We are now looking through the eyes of one of the knocked out recon bots. Then a voice says, "Get him back online. I want him to see this." As he regains his vision, we see Megatron holding Fastback in one hand, just to toss him aside like a ragdoll. They both know that something terrible is about to happen. And with one mighty blow, Megatron crushes Fastback's head right underneath his foot. The other bot can't believe what has just happened in front of him. Soundwave questions the termination of the prisoner, and Megatron responds by stating it's simply an interrogation tactic. Not realizing the gravity of the situation, the prisoner decides to call Megatron a psychopath. Then Megatron punches him, sending him hurtling across the room. Soundwave stops Megatron, informing him that he has jammed communications, and then suggests employing a specialist. Enter Laserbeak, who flies over to the prisoner and uses some type of stare to retrieve data out of the prisoner's mind, which appears to be painful as our recon bot yells out in agony. Through this mind read, Soundwave is able to decipher that their plan is to capture the arena fighters, and Megatron is at the top of the most wanted list. He is able to gather all the information that they need to know. He concludes that their prisoner is no longer a threat nor a tool. Megatron confirms that he has the data he needs, and deems the site compromised. Leave everything. He orders Soundwave to tell his master that they can do business once he's met him. And this one, he's mine. Now what did you call me? Psychopath? We see the other bots looking on in shock. Whatever Megatron is doing to this other bot is clearly too graphic for this comic book. We see Megatron in a commanding pose standing over a twisted, mangled bot. This is clearly just the beginning of our journey with Megatron. That's it for this episode. Leave your thoughts and suggestions down in the comment box, and go ahead and click the thumbs up and subscribe buttons while you're at it. Be sure to tune in next time for another episode of Transformers Comics Decoded. This is Bartatron of the Cybertron Data Network signing off. Till all are one. Thanks for watching. See you next time.